What's good, Turf Talk? It's your boy, Richard Donahue, and I'm with
Landon Stuziak.
Landon the Kid Kostuziak, Coach Ford Jones.
Bro.
Today, we're going to be doing the winners and losers of the 2024 NFL Draft. It ended yesterday, and there is so much to talk about. So many teams, in my opinion, have fallen hard. Some teams have just shot up, had great drafts. So we're going to talk about it. We're going to go all the winners, and then we're going to go all the losers. Should be a short, decent video. And if you're watching live, let's go. I mean, you get first dibs. So are you ready?
Yeah.
I'm going to get it out of the way. The first draft winner, in my opinion, is the Miami Dolphins. And hold on, no bias here. I have a reason.
No, they had a pretty good draft.
Yeah. They had,
my hair's
according to the graph that I saw on Twitter, the second most valuable draft. But how much can you really believe on that?
Yeah, what the hell does that even mean?
First, you get Chop Robinson, which in my opinion is a B plus, or like an A minus. It's a great pick. He's 4.48 speed, ridiculously fast. I mean, I think he had the fastest 40-yard dash for an edge since 2021. Or something. So it's a good pick. He only had 11 sacks in college, but the pressures that he had and the amount of sacks caused by him is on level with Myles Garrett, Max Crosby, who else? Nick Bosa. He actually did better causing sacks than Myles Garrett, so that's a great pickup. You get Malik Washington, who's 6'2", 240. That's a great pickup. That's going to be huge. Instead of Chase Claypool and Julian Hill, where those guys can't catch the ball, and they weren't good at all. So that's a good pickup there. Got Paul, what's his name? I want to say Paul Pierce, but it's not that. It's something Paul. That lineman that we got in the second round, it's hard to say. I mean, he had the best PFF pass blocking grade out of any tackles. He's 6'7", 350. My only problem with him is his problems are coachable. It's he has slow off hands. He's a little high in his stance, but I mean, you can fix stuff like that. Then we trade up with the Eagles and get Jalen Wright, which 4 Jalen's on the Miami Dolphins. That's pretty good. Jalen Wright ran a 4.38 40. So now we have a 4.32 with Devon Achane, 4.34 with Raheem Mostert, 4.38 with Jalen Wright. I mean, this is great because by the end of the year, we usually do have problems staying healthy. But now there is no problem. We have 3 really good guys. Jeff Wilson's on the way out. We did re-sign Savon Ahmed, but I could see him getting cut. This is really good for us. And then obviously there's some later pickups that weren't the best. The safety pick is fine. We got that safety. It's fine. And then we drafted Florida State receiver Keon Coleman's, teammate, which it'll be fun to see them go back to back. I mean, his ceiling, in my opinion, is a wide receiver 4 to 5, just a good, reliable guy. But you need those on your team. So pay that guy. You get him for 3 years. You only have to pay him 1.2 mil per year. I'm really happy with the Dolphins draft, and I give it a A minus.
Dolphins drafted more receivers than the Bills.
I know they did, and we don't need receiver.
Well, I still think the Bills are a winner in the draft, honestly. Keon Coleman is a great freaking dude. Yeah, I think everyone's seen all the press conference stuff by now. I mean, he's funny too, honestly. He's pretty funny. But he's a great player. I've warmed up to the pick a lot. When I first saw it, I'm like, dude, are we serious? We didn't draft Donnie Mitchell? I was mad. Because I think the people that watched this stream on Thursday know that I was freaking out because of Donnie Mitchell, pretty much. But, yeah, I think Coleman's going to be really good. But it's not even that pick that's, one of my favorites. Cole Bishop is a freaking monster, dude. Cole Bishop is going to be fantastic. And both Bishop and, Keon's 20.
He's 20?
He's 20 years old. Well, he turns 21 by the time the season starts, but super young. Cole Bishop is 21. He doesn't turn 22 till mid-season. And another one of my favorite picks, D-tackle Dwayne. I just forgot his name. No, Dwayne Carter. I freaking love this guy. He's so explosive. 3-time captain at Duke. He played 4 years at Duke, and he was a captain 3 of those 4 years. Insane leader. Obviously, his teammates loved him. And, I mean, learning from Daquan Jones, Ed Oliver, I mean, he's going to be great. And then the 4th round, one of my favorite picks, probably my second favorite pick, is Ray Davis, running back. Dude, he's a little bit older. He's 24. I think he's the oldest player we drafted. But dude, Ray Davis is a beast. He's a monster in the screen game. He can throw dudes off of him. I'm excited for a backfield with Ray Davis and James Cook. But my personal favorite pick of the draft, Javon Solman, edge out of Troy, led the nation in sacks last year with I think 16 or 17 sacks. Javon Solman's going to be a monster. His idol is none other than Von Miller, the guy on the Bills. I think he's going to learn a lot from him. Javon Solman's going to be a future All-Pro. Mark my words. He is going to be really good. And he's easily my favorite pick of the draft. It's really not close. I love Javon Solman. He's going to be a monster. I'm so excited for him.
You just reminded me, the Dolphins in the 4th round got an edge rusher who had the 3rd fastest 40 time out of like the whole draft. And he, when you said that, it reminded me, he went on a press conference and he was pissed. When he got to the Dolphins, he was pissed. He's like, all 31 of these teams are going to regret it. Like, I'm going to come out super hard. Like, I love that guy. I love the energy. So if he could get going, it would be pretty damn good because now we have a really fast edge rushing core with Bradley Chubb, Jalen Phillips, those two. And then you got Shaq Barrett with this power. It's exciting. And I think actually the only 2 teams that had good drafts in the AFC East were the Bills and the Dolphins.
The Bills did pick up Frank Gore Jr., undrafted free agent. Let's go. Frank Gore Jr., beast. Best pickup in the AFC East easily.
You want who I want us to pick up?
Who?
Tualia Tagovailoa. He's available. Miami had interest. Make it happen. Him, Mike White, Skylar Thompson, Tua. That's going to be a fun quarterback room, I'm telling you.
Bro.
I actually don't think that's ever happened before. 2 QB brothers on the same team. Has it?
Probably not.
Probably
not. I don't think Derek and David played together, so probably not.
That'd be sick. I'm telling you, that'd be awesome. I like how also Malik Washington, he went on Instagram as soon as he got drafted and he said, at Jalen Waddle, at Tyreek Hill, let's get to work. And they both responded. So they're going to be working together. It's good. I like when new guys are like super amped up to play for the Dolphins. 2nd round pick Paul. I don't know. I really don't know his name, which I feel like embarrassed about. But dude, that guy is like, he is hyped to be on the Dolphins. Like him and his agent have been harassing the Dolphins, I guess, saying that they want to play in Miami and everything. And that's why they could have traded back and took him, but they wanted to make sure they got him. So they stayed at where they were in the 2nd. Yeah, it's a W. It's a W.
I think Keon Coleman, when he had his visit with the Bills, he didn't want to leave. That's what he said that he said, do I have to leave? Like he didn't want to leave when he got here. And Josh texted him draft night saying that he's his guy. So, I mean, it's who Josh wants. I'm excited. I really am excited. I love this draft. And let's get Von Miller get on the phone with Javon Solman, please. Because Javon Solman said he was crying for 5 minutes. He was so happy and excited to be on the Bills. People used to cry tears of sadness being on the Bills. Now, let's go. We're moving up in the world.
My second winner is the Philadelphia Eagles. There's not much to say. They drafted great day 3. They had a mid free agent signing, but that's fine. They had an amazing draft day 3. They picked up a bunch of guys that like were surprising that they fell that far. Day 2, they got Cooper DeJean, which is my corner 2 of the class. He's an absolute beast. He's going to be able to play safety for them, corner for them. Absolute stud. That's huge for them. really could put them into contention because the other one is their first-round pick. They got corner one of the class, Quinion Mitchell, who somehow fell to 22. I have no idea how he fell to 22, but he did. That's huge for them. They got the number 1 and number 2 corners in the entire class, in my opinion. Rakeshaw could outperform them. It depends on how he plays out in the NFL. But in my opinion, the safest 2 corners are those 2 players. Cooper DeJean, I really do think he's going to flourish in that Philadelphia Eagles team. And I think Quinion Mitchell could play a slot role, could play a 2 role. It really is going to be a big deal for the Philadelphia Eagles. So that's a huge win for them. They are contenders, so don't sleep.
Another one of my winners is the Detroit Lions, man. I mean, they really came into this. They needed one thing. It was corners, and they got corners, man. They got Taron Arnold and Enos Rackshaw Jr., 2 absolute great players. I mean, Enos Rackshaw Jr. was projected to be a first-round pick, and he fell down to them in the second round. I mean, they really just closed up their corner room, which is fantastic for them. They got the D tackle out of LSU in the 6th round. I thought it was going to be a 3rd-round pick. I mean, their front line or their D line is so good. It's going to be really hard to play the Detroit Lions this year. As long as their offense does not take a step back, playing the Detroit Lions is going to be really, really hard.
Yeah, and one thing that not a lot of people are talking about with the Detroit Lions is, I mentioned it earlier, the Dolphins are the 2nd most valuable draft. The Detroit Lions had the number 1 most valuable draft, so they drafted amazing. I think I'm really excited to watch that whole NFC North, right? NFC North, that's the division.
Yeah.
Dude, all 4 teams are supposed to be hugely successful this year. I'm very excited.
Yeah.
My number 3 that I'm going to say is it's got to be the Washington Commanders. They drafted out of their mind. I don't know how they drafted so well. So obviously you get your guy in Jaden Daniels, who the more I look at it, the more I like this guy as a player. He is a stud. He really does have the sorry, Coach Pitch just texted me. All right, he really does have a lot of potential. He can run, he can pass. Honestly, he's the better Michael Penix in my opinion. They kind of are the same player, but he's younger. He can throw. I'm just really excited for this Commanders team. They got Luke McCaffrey late in the 3rd, which I'm a big Luke McCaffrey fan because he's a little smaller than Christian, but he's on the same regimen. He can still run the ball. He can pass the ball. I've seen him pass in college. He obviously is a receiver. They drafted great in the 2nd round, 3 second-round picks, all studs. They filled up all their needs. They did good in free agency. I think Austin Eckler is not going to do terrible like he did this past year. He was battling injury. Austin Eckler could do a bounce back. They really did set up Jaden Daniels for some success. And I don't be surprised if this team gets 10 wins. That's all I'm going to say. So that's their third winner of the draft.
Third, I'm really thinking now because I wanna be perfect with this. Who is my? I don't want to. Okay.
This is your last winner, by the way. Before we go to
I know. I'm thinking hard about it. I only wrote down 2.
Well, you could go Bears.
Yeah, I feel like that's a safe pick, and I kind of want to talk about them. So I'll go the Bears. I mean, you won the draft when you picked up Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. You pretty much won the draft with that. I mean, they're crazy now. I don't even know who else they picked up. I'm going to be honest with you. I don't know who else they picked up in the later rounds. But to me, it don't matter.
Yeah.
Because they got Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze. Their offense is insane. Their defense is also pretty good.
They got that Iowa punter who led the whole.
Oh, they did get him. Let's go.
Yeah.
Better 4th-round pick punter.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, their punt game's good now too. So
Caleb Williams texted him and said, "You won't have to punt too much."
Really?
Yeah.
Better be right.
Yeah, this is gonna be a fun team to watch.
One L though. One L. Caleb Williams is wearing 18, and Romo Dunes is wearing 15.
He's wearing 18?
Yeah.
Why?
Because he let Keenan Allen wear 13.
Huh.
That's kind of gross. You're not
That
paying.
is weird.
I don't like O'Dunes wearing 15 either. Just stick with 1, but whatever.
Yeah, I don't know. All right, so now we can go to the losers. I know who my number one loser is. It is the Atlanta Falcons. Previously, I had them competing for the Super Bowl as Super Bowl contenders, but now after this draft, I really do not believe in this team. They drafted terrible. They had the second least valuable draft in the entire NFL. They drafted Penix at 8, which honestly wouldn't be a terrible pick if you didn't sign Kirk Cousins to a 4 or 5 year deal guaranteeing him over $100 million. They said they could start Penix 4 or 5 years down the line, where at that point you already have to give him a new contract. Cousins is going to be 40, and Penix will be 29. So what is this? The next Geno Smith? He's going to start at 29? That's a waste of his talent. And honestly, I did say that I thought Penix was going to be a bust, but on this team, he's not even going to get a chance to be a decent. He's really going to just sit behind Kirk until he gets hurt, and then they're going to have to release Kirk, and they're going to lose a bunch of money. It's not going to work out for them. They drafted decent in the third day, but the second day really wasn't that great. I really just didn't like any of the moves they made. They were trading picks from this year instead of last year. And from their great free agency, they had a bad draft. I still think they could go 10 to 12 wins, but I do not see them going past the divisional anymore. I had them going to the chip, even Super Bowl contention, but not anymore. So it's your first loser of the draft, the Atlanta Falcons.
One of my losers of the draft are hey Logan. One of my losers of the draft is the Dallas Cowboys. I mean, did absolutely nothing in free agency. I mean, the Tyler Guyton pick is pretty good. I like it, but what else did they do? I mean, they don't have a third receiver. They waited till the 7th round to draft. I don't even remember the guy's name. And they passed on Brendan Rice over this guy, and Brendan Rice is a better player than them. I can't remember the guy's name. It wasn't. They didn't even get the number 1 running back either. One of their literal main needs is running back. They didn't even get the best running back in the class. They not even Blake
I
Corum.
heard that they're signing Ezekiel Elliott again. I did. I saw it.
Let's go, Zeke.
Well, Zeke was my team MVP for the Patriots, so he's still him.
Jerry Jones is just not good. I hate him. He's terrible. But Cowboys downfall.
I'm down. I hate the Cowboys.
Damn.
Quick side tangent. The more I think about it, I actually don't mind this Bo Nix pick. I think they could have gotten him in the second, but if they believe in him this much,
I don't understand the hate.
I hated it at the beginning. I thought that was the worst pick ever. But now I do like it. I like the Bo Nix pick. I think Bo Nix has a lot of potential. 45 touchdowns to 3 picks. He has experience. He's a 5th-year draft pick. I think he could do pretty decent. I'm not gonna lie.
I don't understand the hate I'm seeing on Twitter. Bo Nix is a good quarterback. It's Denver.
Mm-hmm. I think they should start Zach Wilson. We'll talk more turf talk number 18, but hey, I'm telling you, well, that's gonna be a good one. It's gonna be a good one. We're doing a draft recap. So my number 2 loser of the draft is going to be the New England Patriots. The Patriots drafted Drake May, who is my least favorite people call me a Penix hater, Landon. Drake May is my least favorite prospect in the entire draft. I think he's the next Zach Wilson. Belichick had a lot to say about him, how he can't set his feet. And if Belichick is saying that, what do you think? I mean, dude, this guy is the greatest coach of all time, and that hurts me because Don Shula is the second greatest, and that's a Miami Dolphins coach. This guy is clearly the best coach of all time, and if he's saying that about your new guy, come on. I don't believe in Drake May.
Belichick also said that McCarthy is a terrible throwing motion.
Hey, I mean, I don't know. I mean, it's what Belichick says. You gotta believe him. It's tough though. And then you get Joe Milton in the 6th, which is great because I believe more in Joe Milton than Drake May.
Oh.
Obviously, they're gonna start Drake May. That's their
guy.
You
overrate Joe Milton so much.
Dude, Joe Milton actually has more potential than Drake May.
Bro, you are. Bro, as someone,
I like Joe Milton as a player.
Going into this college football, like last year, I was going into this as a huge Joe Milton supporter. No. I watched him. No. I don't believe in Joe Milton. I was a huge supporter going into this college football season, and he just completely ruined all the support I had for him. No.
I don't know. They didn't really draft too well in the mid-rounds either. I just don't think they had a good draft, and especially for the year one. Well, yeah, I'd say year one of their rebuild because it's a new coach, a new regime. It's a whole new thing. So year one of your rebuild, not the best draft. You were low on value for the draft. I don't know, man.
I honestly don't think the Patriots drafted that bad. I'm going to be honest with you. I wouldn't say they're, yes.
Nah. They're probably going to split this year. That's my opinion. I think if Miami faces them later in the year at home again, or actually anytime, I prefer it to be a weather thing where we face Buffalo in the snow and they face Miami in the heat because that's more fair because it's a weather versus weather type of game. But I think it's going to be a split this year.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see down the road.
Yeah, for sure.
Another one of my losers. I don't know. It's kind of a controversial one, but the Jets. Anytime you have Breece Hall and you draft 2 running backs, I'm calling you a loser.
Yeah.
What is that pick? I don't know. I like the Fashanu pick. I like the Jordan Travis pick. They did ignore defense literally the entire draft, though. I don't know if I like that because as good as your defense is, they're eventually going to fall off. You have little to no safeties. I think they drafted 1 defensive player maybe, and it was the Mr. Irrelevant they drafted a safety. Bro ain't going to do nothing. Your safeties aren't even that good. I don't know. I didn't like the Jets draft, really, other than Fashanu and Travis. But, I mean, we'll have to see. They could prove me wrong. There's not a lot of losers, to be honest. So, saying the Jets are a loser is kind of a stretch. I'm going to be honest. Yeah. But I would say, out of all the AFC's teams, they drafted the worst.
My last one that I have, and this one's kind of tough because I would say that there's not too many losers. I agree with you on that. It's got to be the Jaguars. They really didn't get too much value this year. You come off a season where I think they were 8-2 or 9-2, and they really were like they were competing for the 1 seed. It was the Dolphins, them, and the Chiefs, and I guess the Ravens too. Those are the 4 teams that were competing for the 1 seed the whole year. And then, Dolphins fell off, but at least it wasn't a Jaguars fall off. That Jaguars fall off was super sad. Houston ended up winning the division. I'm pretty sure, right? Or no? No, yeah. No. Did they?
They did, yeah.
Yeah. Houston ended up winning the division. When you're 9-2, that's worse of a fall off than the 4.5 game lead that the Dolphins had, or whatever. It was like a 3.5 game lead. The Jaguars had a really rough end of the season, and they did decent in free agency. But now you think about it, you go Jaguars, you get Brian Thomas Jr., which really isn't a need at all. You have Christian Kirk, you get Zay Jones. I mean, you're paying a bunch of guys already. Christian Kirk, you reset the market with him. He had $24.5 million back in whatever, like 2 years ago or whatever it was. I don't understand this pickup for them. It doesn't really fit their needs, but he's a great player. They drafted terrible in the late rounds. I look at their PFF grades, and all of them are like decent, but like there's no really studs.
They drafted like 2 running backs also. Why?
And I never understood that. You had James Robinson, who was an absolute beast. Then you draft Travis Etienne in the first. Maybe that's just Meyer, but Now you have
Yeah.
Travis Etienne, and you draft 2 running backs. That's
And they
not a
drafted Tank
positional
Bigsby
need.
last year.
It's not a positional need. I don't get it. Didn't they get Tank Bigsby or whatever?
Yeah, last year.
So what are they doing? For what?
I like the running backs, man.
I don't know.
They're selling.
I think they kind of went BPA the whole draft instead of positional needs, and that's not what you want to do, especially when you're in their situation.
Yeah, no, you don't. You ain't want to be like that. My other loser, same division, Colts. Or not Colts, not Colts, Titans.
Oh, okay.
Only because you didn't get Joe Alt. You're not getting Joe Alt at 7 is probably one of the biggest losses of the first round.
That's why I told you that's why I said it. They're going to trade up. I had them trading up with the Chargers.
I mean, that's just a colossal. I mean, dude is going to play a 15-year career. He's going to be an All-Pro and Pro Bowler almost every year. I mean, it really does suck for them that they didn't get him. I don't even know who they drafted later. It doesn't matter to me. You didn't get Joe Alt.
He's an offensive weapon.
And they took J.C. Latham, I think, and I'm not really the biggest J.C. Latham guy, so
It's a big loss. The draft was really fun this year. I think it was actually one of the best drafts we've had in a while.
Oh, yeah. Especially with talent, dude. There's so many good talent. There's so many late round.
That's just the beginning of it. The talent is just rising in the NFL constantly, so I'm really excited for the future.
Yeah, I mean, like, there's so many late round guys that I think can be studs. One of them being Javon Solman, dude. I mean, you lead the nation in sacks, and you're a late 5th round pick.
Yeah.
Like, that shows you how much talent there is.
Oh, yeah.
Javon Benton, he said it. I watched his interview. I watched all the Bills guys' interviews. Javon said he's been underrated his whole life. Keep it up, dog.
Perfect for Buffalo.
I already know who your favorite Dolphins pick is.
Chop?
Yeah, that one's...
Chop's pretty good. I'm not even kidding, though. I might like that other edge rusher that we got more than Chop. Because that in the 4th round, dude, I listened to his press conference, and it is scary, dude. Like, he is going to be an animal, and that's great value. I'm really excited for him, too.
I really, like, I love every player the Bills drafted, I'm going to be honest. They all fit so well. I mean, even, dude, the British tackle from England that we drafted in the 7th round, dude, he's 6'8", 310 pounds. He runs a 4.79.
That's crazy.
He is an athlete. I didn't even talk about Cedric Van Pran, the center. We just got our Mitch Morse replacement, too. So, like, it was such a good draft for the Bills, and people are hating on it. Get out of here. Get a life, losers. It was such a good draft.
Yeah, and this was a great video, 30 minutes. If you stayed to the end, make sure to subscribe, like, and comment. I had a great time, as usual.
Yeah, anything about the draft gets me pumped up, man.
Yeah, the draft was a really good one this year. Make sure to check out our Turf Talk number 18. It's coming out. I think we're recording it Wednesday or Tuesday, so Be prepared. Be prepared. Turn on your post noties.
Yes, sir.
Yep, you're gonna want to see that for sure. So, it's been a great one. I'm Richard Donahue.
I'm gonna say it. I've landed the Kid Castucci. Yep. That's terrible.
That's the new thing. There we go.
I hate that. I hate that so much.
All right, peace out, Turf Talk.
See ya.